things here, these little things are where it's at. Hello. It has been literally so long since I filmed the video. I mean, it's crazy. Like, do y'all find it like you're unmotivated to do something during quarantine? Like, you're like, I should be more motivated. I should literally be more motivated, I think. But, you know, everything's opening back up, at least here where I am. Things are slowly opening back up. I mean, the majority, like, of things have opened up. I think it's like bars are pretty much one of the last things to open up. But, alright, so today we're going to talk about the mysterious death of Elisa Lam. And I'm sure most of you have seen the video of like where she's being like really creepy in the elevator and just like talking to somebody who ain't there, and you're like, oh, what is happening? And I read so many theories on like, from it was ghosts to, you know, it's some kind of paranormal activity to she was murdered, she committed suicide. Elisa Lam was 21 years old. She was actually from Canada, and she had like a blog, and she was very open on there about her mental health situation. She had bipolar disorder, and her blog, she had one called Ether Fields, and then she had another one, well, this one was on Tumblr, but it was called Novel, and she would just post there, post poetry and talk about her mental health, talk about her depression and her mania. Because people who have bipolar, you go through these stages of extreme depression or depression and stages of mania, right? And so that shift can often be very tiresome and, you know, can take a toll on a person. I worked at a psychiatric hospital. I worked there on the floor with patients for about 4 years, and I would see patients who had bipolar, and when they were in their depressive state, I mean, they did not want to get out of bed. They didn't want to shower. They didn't want to eat. They didn't want to do absolutely anything. It's almost like literally the thought of getting out of bed, eating, or, you know, going to the bathroom seemed so overwhelming that they didn't want to do it. I would have patients who wouldn't shower for weeks because they just could not find that motivation to kind of get themselves up and out of bed. And then you would see the opposite side is when they were being manic, they sometimes didn't sleep at all, were talking, you know, fast, and, you know, in this kind of state with like so much energy. And at least while they were inpatient, you know, it kind of limited the amount of things that they could do. But I had patients who, when they were out, before they got institutionalized, you know, they were doing a lot of things that they would not normally do in that kind of manic state. So Elisa, she talked about her journey with bipolar disorder. She even wrote a couple times how she felt alone and unstable, and she would often talk about how if she had like a relapse where she, you know, kind of had a manic episode or a depressive episode, how she felt, you know, bad about herself for kind of falling back into that state of mind. So she said she wanted to take a trip to California, and her family was worried. I mean, who wouldn't be? You know, you worry sometimes, because at the time that she said she was going to go, she said, her family said that she was unstable and, you know, not in her right state of mind to be going by herself. And they were very worried about her, but she promised them that she was going to check in with them every single night, keep them updated about everything that she was going to be doing and where she was going to be in California. So she ended up going to California on January 22nd, 2013. And she first went to San Diego, and she also ended up going to LA. When she was in LA, she checked into the Cecil Hotel. And the Cecil Hotel is kind of like, okay, have y'all seen American Horror Story Hotel? And you know how they have, if you guys saw American Horror Story Hotel, they had these people that died there, that if you died in the hotel, then you never really actually died, like their ghost or their presence was still there, and they had serial killers there. So the Cecil Hotel was very similar. So they had many deaths at the hotel, and the deaths range from murders to suicides to overdoses, accidental deaths. They had many unexplained deaths, and that happened ever since the hotel opened. And similar to the American Horror Story Hotel, they had serial killers that also stayed there. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Well, he, somebody portrayed him in American Horror Story. This is the hotel that kind of inspired that season. But Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, he stayed at the Cecil Hotel at the height of his killing spree. There was another serial killer as well that stayed there. There have been many ghost sightings. So people that go to the Cecil say that they have seen people or have heard people, just had like paranormal experiences. And so that's just like a little side bit of the hotel, because then it comes to people's theories of how Elisa died. So Elisa didn't call her family. She didn't check in with them the way she said she was going to towards the end when she was in the Cecil Hotel. And so her family thought like, all right, what's going on? She said she was going to check in. Elisa was supposed to check out of the Cecil Hotel on January 31st, but she never did. And so that's when her family started to get worried, because they were like, all right, well, where is she? What could have happened? Time has gone by, and she didn't check out. They didn't know what happened to her. 5 days later, the guest of the Cecil Hotel had complained that the water smelled kind of funny, that the water tasted kind of funny. And so, and the workers went upstairs to check like the water tank to see if, something happened, or, it stopped working, or whatever it was that was causing this smell and this awful taste. And that's when they found the naked body of Elisa Lam. The top of the tank had been shut. She had no clothes on. They were like, oh my God, like, we found a body. And then they realized it was the body of Elisa, who had not checked out. Nobody had known what happened to her. Now it was like, all right, how did she get here? How did she die? Why is she naked? There's a CCTV video of Elisa in the hotel, and she looks very erratic. If y'all have seen this video, I'm telling you, the first time I ever saw the video, I was so freaked out. Mainly because I first saw it on like a paranormal website, like YouTube channel, and I was like, oh my God, what if like she's seeing a ghost, or like, it just was really freaky. But then when I read into Elisa having mental illness, it made a lot more sense to me. But so you could see her, and she's like kind of sitting there in the elevator, looking back as if she's like moving her hands and talking to somebody. She presses a whole bunch of buttons in the elevator. Her behavior is very, very erratic, very bizarre and strange. And I think that leads to a lot of people thinking that it's some kind of paranormal situation, especially with the hotel's history of so many deaths and ghost sightings or whatnot, if y'all believe in ghosts or not. Once that video aired, everybody had theories, and like I said, the paranormal one was a popular theory online. Another theory was that Elisa was lured up to the tank by one of the workers, because how did she get upstairs if it was locked? You know, how did she get all the way to the roof when the roof was locked and only employees had the keys to get up there? So how did she end up getting up there? And then if she did jump into the tank, how did she close it on herself? It just didn't make sense that she would do it by herself. And so maybe it was a worker who kind of saw her fragile mental state and decided to take advantage of her. And I think that because she was found naked, a lot of people thought that maybe there was some kind of sexual abuse aspect to it, but they never found any proof to suggest that she was raped or anything before her death. But still, many people think like, you know, how did she get up there if she doesn't have keys? Maybe she found a way, I don't know. Another popular theory is that she died by suicide. That being due to her mental state at the time, and her family had said she was unstable before she left, and it's like, you know, like she's taking this trip in my mind, right? Like she's taking this trip, and it's almost like this one last thing that she wanted to do. And then somehow she got on the back stairs or somewhere. She ended up getting herself onto the roof and jumping in, and then the rooftop just closed on her. Or it was an accidental death, and maybe she was in one of her manic states, and because she was being erratic, it leads more to that she was in a manic state. Maybe she ended up getting upstairs to the roof somehow. Maybe she found an open door. Maybe she found like an extra set of stairs that leads upstairs that she could go through that didn't require like a key or like a badge thing, and that she took off her clothes and just decided to go for a swim and thought maybe it would be a great idea to just kind of go for a swim, and then somehow the water tank top closed on her and she drowned accidentally. So many people, you know, I think are divided on either she died by suicide or it was an accidental death. For me, I think it's 50-50. It could have been a suicide. It also could have been an accidental death. I couldn't say that it wasn't a murder, but based on the video and her history of mental health and what her family claimed at the time, that she was unstable, it seemed more like that it was either suicide or an accidental death. I mean, it could have been murdered, but I don't know. It's the theory that I believe the least, well, the second least, because the paranormal theory is really, like, I really don't even consider that a theory, but I would say that would be the least. But if you guys see this video, I need to know what you guys think. Are there some of you guys that think it was paranormal? I mean, there's some people that swear that she's like possessed, or that the hotel, like just the bad vibes of the hotel and all the death that was there kind of took a hold of her. I don't know. Either way, even if it's not paranormal, even if it was, you know, just this poor girl suffering from mental like health issues, the video is still really creepy. There's also no sound, and I think if you, like most videos when you see them, there's just no sound, and she's just sitting there just like going back and forth, and then you know, it looks like she's hiding from somebody. It's just really eerie to think about. And then to think about how they found her because the guests complained that like the water tasted bad, and that's because her body was already decompensating in that water tank. It's just, it's really sad. Her cause of death is drowning, and I think just how that happened is still a mystery. She was just 21 years old, alone, with these mental health issues. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys think of the video, and if you think it's somebody. I mean, I think she may have been paranoid and thought she saw someone, or is just in such a bad state of mind that, you know, she's just kind of freaking out. But let me know what you guys think. I want to know if you guys think if it is paranormal, if it's mental health, if she was murdered. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. This was like a little shorty. I guess we'll call them little shorties, little short videos. And let me know what you guys want to see next.